over there. I see you struggling with the numbers, but don't have no fear, cause I'm right here. We're gonna grow and learn together, there's no need to despair. Math cool like breeze, you're gonna learn it with ease. So leave your concerns because it's time to learn.
Hey guys, so for today's video, which is second in a series, we'll be looking at adding and subtracting numbers up and over 10. In order to conquer this concept, there are two things that we need to cover. Number one, we need to know how to add and subtract up to 10. Now, I covered this in part 1 of this series, so if you haven't checked out the previous video, please pause this video, go take a look and come right back. If you have seen the video, boy, you know already like Freddy? Wait, people still say that? But anyways, yeah man, that is you, so let's continue. Now the second thing is knowing how to add numbers to 10, which is fairly simple. To add a single digit number to 10, we just replace the 0 with the number and get the result. So say we have 10 plus 5, we would replace the 0 with 5 to get 15. This is because we're adding 5 ones to a number that has 0 ones, so the result must have 5 ones. Want one more example? Okay, 10 plus 9. We would replace the 0 with 9 to get 19. So now that that is covered, let's move on by meeting Jason. Jason brought 8 marbles to school and bought 7 more in order to play marbles with his friends. So how many marbles would Jason have in total? Now there are two parts to this strategy, and we're not using our fingers, right? Because 8 plus 7 would give a result that is bigger than 10. So here's what we do. We start with the bigger number as always when adding, and the first step is to break apart the second number so that we can count up to 10. So we ask ourselves, what do we add to 8 to get to 10? And the answer is 2, because 8 plus 2 equals 10. The second step is to add the remaining amount to 10. So we've already added 2, so now we need to add 5 more. And by adding 5 to 10, well, that's easy because the result is 15. So 8 plus 7 gives a result of 15. So Jason has 15 marbles. So here are the two steps again. 1, we would add the amount that takes us up to 10, and then we would add what is left to 10 to get the final result. Let's try another example. What is the sum of 9 plus 4? So again, starting with the bigger number 9, we add up to 10. So it would take 1 to get up to 10. And then the second step is adding what is left. So adding 3 to 10 to get a result of 13. So 9 plus 4 equals 13. Let's go a little bit faster. 5 plus 8. So for this example, let's start with 5, right? So in order to get up to 10, we need to add 5. So that brings us to 10, and then what's left is 3. So by adding 10 to 3, the final result is 13. Now I can hear one of you giving me this side eye like, Tamara, how comes we didn't start with the bigger number? Because that's what I say all the time when we are adding. And the truth is that you can start with any number, because when adding, the order doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to explain this a bit more in part 4 of this series, but just know that you can get the total by putting any number first. It's just that in most cases, starting with the bigger number helps you to get the total faster. Yes, so I just wanted to let you guys know. Now let's move on to subtraction. So now Jason on his way home from school lost 6 of his marbles. And I know we can all relate to this because I'm sure that at some point in our school life we've lost something. Me personally, one time in high school, lost my entire school bag. True story. So try imagining me returning home with 0 school bags. 0, nothing, nada, nunca, nothing at all. When I went to school with one of them and trying to explain to my parents how I managed to lose my entire school bag. But anyways, back to Jason. He lost 6 of his marbles, so how many does he have left, right? So we do this by subtraction. Again, there is a 2-part strategy. So number 1, we subtract the number down to 10. So in this case, 15 minus 5 would take us down to 10. And the second step is to subtract the remaining amount by counting down from 10. So we have one more to subtract, and by counting down one step from 10, we would get a final result of 9. So 15 minus 6 is 9. Let's try another example. How about 16 minus 9? Again, the first part of the step is to count down to 10. So by subtracting 6 from 16, we would get 10. And then the second step is to subtract what is left. So we subtracted 6, we need to subtract 3 more, and 10 minus 3 would give a result of 7. So 16 minus 9 is 7. So let's run through the steps for subtraction again. Number 1, we subtract the amount down to 10. And then number 2, we subtract the remaining amount from 10 to get the final result. Now let's try 2 more examples. Okay, number 1, let's try 16 minus 7. So again, we subtract down to 10 by subtracting 6 at first, and then we subtract what's left. So 1 more from 10 would give us 9. So 16 minus 7 is 9. Let's do 19 minus 8. Now this one is a little bit different because in order to subtract down to 10, we would have to subtract 9. But 9 is bigger than 8. So that leads to a slight variation to the rule when the number doesn't take us to 10. In this case, 8, right? If the number that would take us to 10 is bigger than the actual number being subtracted, so in this case, 9 would take us to 10, but it's bigger than 8, what we would do is we would add the difference between both numbers back to 10 to get the final result. So follow me. We subtract 9 to get down to 10, but 9 is bigger than 8 by 1. So we have to add 1 back to 10 in order to get the final result. And 10 plus 1 is equal to 11. Now, this may seem like a complicated method, but trust me, with enough practice, not only will it help you to calculate numbers faster, but they will also help to improve your sense of numbers and how they work by knowing the easiest method to use. So if I say, what is 16 minus 1, right? I definitely don't expect to use the previous method to calculate this because 16 minus 1 is just 1 less, which would be 15. But practicing these different methods will expose you to all the different ways to find the results so that over time, with practice, you are naturally able to pick the fastest method. I've said practice about 100 times, but what I'm really trying to say is that at the end of the day, it's really all about the practice. Okay, so let's do a recap of today's video. Adding a single number to 10 can be done by replacing the 0 with the number to get the final result. In order to add numbers up and over 10, we start by adding the amount that would take us up to 10 and then adding what's left to 10 to get the final result. When we are subtracting numbers down to and under 10, we start by subtracting the amount that would take us down to 10 and then subtracting what is left from 10 to get the final result. And that's it for today. Join me for part 3 next week when we learn to add and subtract all numbers using the place value method. Don't forget to like this video, comment below if you learned something new, also follow my page on Instagram because I post questions every week, and finally, be a friend and tell a friend. Remember, we're all in this together because math is life.